Welcome back to the Blindsiders. I am Ben with Dylan and Brian here to talk about the premiere of Survivor 47. Got another season coming up. It's been a while.
We're back. Not only are we back for the podcast, but we recorded one episode of our Big Brother podcast, and then work/technical issues got in the way, but we're here.
Traveling, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, we're here for the real show, the real king of reality TV. Although Big Brother 26, quite good. So, God damn it. But yeah, Dylan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I had a good summer. I went to the beach a few times, which I hadn't seen. I've seen the sea in the past couple years, but I hadn't gone to the beach in a few years, so that was nice. I got a pretty nice tan. I golfed a lot.
Yeah.
But fall is here. Football's here. We have Patriots Dolphins tonight. Big game for our podcast. Patriots Jets. We'll cut that. Sort of a big game for this podcast. Brian and I were talking about the Dolphins before it, so I've been incepted. That was why. Yeah, I'm all in Survivor, all in the fall. Really enjoyed this episode, and I am very happy to be here. Our longest, right? Is this the longest running podcast that we've done all together? We're consistent. We're good. We're gonna keep it going this year.
Certainly in length. Let me see how we do this. Well, the Dolphins played last Thursday, which was a fucking nightmare because Tua got another concussion. So I couldn't handle them. I need at least 3 more days before I'm ready to watch the Dolphins again.
He really hawked to it. Am I right? Not very topical.
Yeah, I just gift wrap the AFC East to the Bills at this point.
Yep, exactly. Hey, so
good news. We've done 5 seasons, and how you're gonna say the number of episodes, but that Hawk Tua girl is already making millions more than we are. It's just great.
Dylan, I don't need to listen. Success in content creation is at least 50% being attractive. I've found if you have that,
and in life,
yeah. So really fighting an uphill battle myself in content creation here, but do I not have one playlist for all of the podcasts?
I do think this is one of the longest, if not the longest,
the Sunny Day Review had 61 episodes.
Yep.
And I shouldn't say had. It has. It'll come back. I keep telling myself.
Early.
Yeah.
Casual person listening for Survivor's like, what the fuck are these guys talking about?
Yeah, we're 3 minutes in. We haven't even mentioned the show.
Hell yeah, we're already derailed. Let's do it.
Earliest tangent ever.
And this is episode 50 of
Is it
Blindsiders? So
we should have done something special for it. We could do a special one next episode.
We did. A podcaster got sacrificed to the Survivor gods on our 50th episode.
Oh, true. Yeah. So
someone much more successful than us, also up there with the Hawk Tua podcast, some would say. But
many
have said that. But this is, I think, episode 50 of the Blindsiders, the Survivor podcast. So thank you all for sticking around, sticking through that awkward intro where I was trying to add playlist numbers together. But yeah, so second longest running so far. But I have a feeling it will be the longest. Then who knows? Maybe that'll light a fire under Chill to come back to do the Sunny Day Review. I guess having a child and getting married and being busy, that's more important than a recap podcast of a show that's been off the air for 20 years.
Subjective.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, this is a great first episode, I thought.
Yeah, do we want to jump in the episode or want to get our winner picks out of the way? Just we have it on the table.
Oh yeah. So mine was Teeny, who's played with a friend of ours, Jack. I think on multiple occasions on LRGs, so had to go with Teeny there.
Yeah, I like Teeny a lot. I came out of this episode liking Teeny quite a bit. My pick was Sierra. I picked second. We'll see. We'll see what Sierra does.
Yeah, well, she was somewhat prominent. She talked a lot about her being a beauty queen, but also kind of a tomboy and all that. Whatever.
She didn't ruin her game, so I'll take that.
True. It's not something that everyone coming out of this episode can say. And
she was never in danger. So
true. And my pick was I've had back-to-back seasons 45 and 46. I picked the second to both seasons. So coming into this, my bar is set at survives 2 eliminations.
Mm-hmm.
I picked Annika, and that was a brief scare during this episode. She does get 1 vote in this tribal council, so they're already playing me. So yeah, that's my pick. Those are our 3 picks.
So hopefully, we'll actually get a winner this time. Have we had a winner in the history of this show? I don't think so, right?
Nope.
No, just a lot of early boots. Actually,
I think if you totaled up longest days survived, I think you would probably be the winner. Which I wonder. Wonder. Maybe going forward we can discuss that of doing a fantasy draft and the team with the most days on the island at the end wins.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Especially because it is 16 or it is 18 the new era generally until maybe they switch it up for season 50 or something. But so that does divide evenly into 3 quite nicely. So.
Well, they've said what? They said that they've interviewed. He said their short list to start at first was 2,000 contestants, or that was their starting list. So maybe they go over more than or 200. Sorry, 200.
I was going to say 200.
2,000. There has not been
played Survivor.
Once again, this is also our first episode of the season. It's been a long summer. It's hot. Yeah. All right. So Dolphins mishap the 2,000. I'm not off to a good start.
Yeah, so. I think it's around 700 or 800 people have played Survivor.
715. Google says. So.
I think he said that he got his list down to 200 contestants and he's working from there. So I hope there's more than 18.
Yeah, I saw he's down to 89 now. So that's pretty good. A 1/4 of that will probably be playing, and we'll see. I mean, 3 tribes of 8. That'd be if Jeff Probst is married to 3 tribes, give us 3 tribes of 8 and 24 players. The original All Stars had 3 tribes of 6 and expanded the game. So why not? Why not now?
Well, they'd have to make the game longer, which I hope they do. It would be nice to go back to 39 days, and then they could probably do the sped up version, the sped up schedule. But with 24 people in 39 days.
Yep, that would make sense. And then, Australian Survivors are going to be 14 days or 15 days for their next season. So that's something.
If we want to save that discussion for the end of this episode, maybe I feel like I would like to talk about that.
Yeah, there are three U.S. survivors, but let's talk about the opening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll start at the beginning. I thought it was, a good challenge. Really good drone shot in this challenge. That was impressive.
That Obama drone money was.
Yeah. The Pod Save America drone money. Also, in retrospect, we probably should have known John was going to get voted off because they have let him do so many preseason things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, maybe it's just because he's a known media person. They know he's not going to mess up and spoil anything. But now it's there wasn't that much for him to spoil. And they wanted to get as much out of him as humanly possible. But I thought this was a fun challenge. It's very funny that this yellow tribe dominated it, and then over the course of 3 days became so bad.
Well, I mean, to be fair, right? They didn't really dominate it that much, right? It was
just the puzzle, I guess.
It was just a puzzle. They actually were very far behind the physical part, and they just did the puzzle really fast.
That's fair.
Yeah. So understandable. I actually thought I really liked the puzzle. I thought it was a unique puzzle. We've complained about them reusing puzzles or them being kind of like boring or repetitive rehash. This definitely seemed like a new type of puzzle.
Yeah, I think continuing in the post-Carson era of Survivor, they're giving us new puzzles, and this one was a good one.
Yeah. There's actually not a whole lot for me to complain about with this episode, but I really liked I really like this challenge, and I agree. It's nice that the puzzles switch up, because I've it's kind of like beating a dead horse. I could not stand the whole like super fan. I'd practice all these at home. I have like the entire setup in my backyard. Like I've maxed out my credit card building these things at home. Like I was very over that type of player, and it seems like
your winner pick.
Yeah, it seems like it seems that the show itself is kind of going back into a little bit of crazy, whether intentionally or unintentionally, with these last 2 seasons, which clearly last season was I think like maybe unanimously all our favorite season of the new era. So I think that's a really good direction to keep going. But yeah, I really like this challenge. Like I said, there was really very minimal for me to complain about with this episode, but the challenges I liked a lot. And we'll get to the next challenge, which was hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing I thought the Matt chat before the challenge was also really like I find the other than like Emily like calling out Bruce, like I find the day one Matt chats are usually pretty unmemorable and they're kind of cliche. But I thought this one was like everyone kind of gave a little bit of their personality that we heard from. It was good because, especially going into the opening challenge, my biggest complaint is usually like I don't know, like we look at the preseason stuff, but like I still don't know any of these players or like have any like significant rooting interests. So like I don't really care about the outcome of the challenge. Like I'm just watching it to enjoy it, and like I'm still like trying to fully learn everyone's name. By the end of the episode, I usually have it down, but like at the first challenge, it's usually kind of like up in the air if I can make sure I remember everyone's name. So that's kind of my my one thing. But I thought the match chat did a good job of really, Teeny's personality. We got like the early snippets of Andy's kind of vibe. John was able to get his really good line in there, which is like, we all talk about how we could play or we would play, and now it's going to fact checked about how we will play. And boy, by the end of the episode, did not did his game get fact checked. So I thought that was good.
Yeah, the big nightmare, the one thing that you're like, this can't happen if I go on Survivor, it's being the first boot, and unfortunately John was the one. But I do think it'll be good, to have someone like that to articulate what that feeling is like. I thought it was very good when my winner pick, Zach, got voted off second, but technically first person voted off, and he was able to kind of like talk about what that feels like as a big fan of the show. Where like you go there and you're like, this would be such a nightmare, and then it happens, and your life doesn't end. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, he has a great life. I'm sure it's it's a blip. Yeah, so I guess we could get into what were your guys' thoughts on because for 6 seasons we've done Sweat versus Savvy, and we've talked a lot about how the format of the new era, like there's this kind of discrepancy between them saying, "Oh, the new era, you're never going to know what's going to happen. Everything's going to be completely unpredictable." But also, the format is exactly the same every single season, and it's just like slight variations. So this is the first season where we're kind of doing the same thing, but we're not doing Sweat and Savvy. I saw people say like Jelinski like broke Sweat and Savvy, and he's a game changer for that. So what were your thoughts on this like journey version of the backup challenge?
Anything that is different in some fashion, that like we just talked about, that people can't kind of prepare for, that also isn't incredibly like game breaking or stupid, I enjoy. So I did like this. Honestly, this is probably the part of the episode that I actually kind of maybe like wasn't fully paying attention to, which I think is also, I think in a 2-hour episode, maybe you need it for a little bit because I felt pretty engaged elsewhere. But yeah, no, I was fine with it. I mean, it's kind of right. It's there's going to be an island that they're all going to have to keep going to in these seasons. So I'm just happy it's not kind of like the same thing every single time. And we've had some pretty dumb methods of what they're doing, along with kind of like the reward was kind of more of a curse than a reward with a lot of these challenges. So yeah, I liked it. I didn't mind it, but like I said, this is kind of the part of the episode where I was kind of, checking the Survivor Twitter during this portion.
Always good stuff on Survivor Twitter. Let me just say, like, I guess like they always bring it. All the fans, they're always so funny, and like that's one of like the best parts about Wednesday nights is like watch it, get to commercial. Okay, what have people said? What memes are people posting? So
way better than Survivor Reddit, which I have an at-war relationship with. It's like the most miserable place on earth.
Mm-hmm. Well, Reddit in general, I think, is like that.
True.
There's a lot of miserable people on Reddit, I would say.
Yeah. One of my favorite sites, by obviously by being nasty. No, I agree with both of you. Twitter, even in the state that it's in these days, Twitter during live television events like Survivor, like Big Brother, like House of the Dragon, can't beat it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should have to only follow the people, only care about the people you follow.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I liked it too. I thought it was interesting. I thought, I like the editing of it. I don't know how much of it was editing versus how much of it was just them like kind of telling exactly kind of how the pacing of that challenge worked. I liked that the last key was in the water.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. And I thought that Asia was going to get it up until she got lost in the woods, and then TK pulled it out. And then at the very end, when Asia tried to grab it out of his hand, I was like, "Oh wait, hold on, oh, never mind." TK got it. All right, it's a little bit, I like it coming down the wire a little bit. So,
now that was exciting. It was very funny also where TK's like, okay, all right, like, come on, Asia, like, I'm not gonna be on TV shoving a girl into the water for a key, but like, you're putting me in a position here.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess with that being said, we could probably go through the 2 winning tribes first before we get to the immunity challenge. Kind of talk a little bit about the players and the structure of those tribes. You want to try with start with Tuku first or Lavo?
Ooh, let's see.
Probably,
which colors are those? Because I wrote the names.
So I've actually come up with some good mnemonics here.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
So Tuku is the blue tribe, and I'm thinking that's like too cool.
Oh, okay. All right.
So blue, cool, hot and cold.
Yep.
And then Lavo is the red tribe, like lava.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
And then the yellow tribe is Gata. And the way I remember that is because Jeff made like about 8 puns during the immunity challenge when they were in last place. He was like, you've gotta pick it up, you gotta do something else here, He said gotta a lot, as a pun. So that's
it's like when you're going to a light and it's turning yellow, you gotta just gun it.
Yeah.
Not slow down. You got to just go through the intersection as fast as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's great. Let's start with Lavu.
Lavo.
Lavo.
Yeah, Lavo.
Damn it.
Almost.
The red tribe.
The red tribe.
After all that, still got
Is it
wrong.
Lavo or Luvo?
Lavo. It's I believe it's lava. Now I'm feeling.
We already had a Luvu on a different season.
So on this site they spelled it Luvo.
No, it's Lavo. Lavo.
Fuck this site.
Yeah, this is a Survivor wiki. Gata Lavo Tuku.
What is surviving tribal? I'm out of here, dude.
Yeah, Survivor wiki is the official. They're the source of truth.
Yeah.
On the Survivor wiki. All right, let's continue.
Okay, so I think that we talk about Teeny. Teeny's Brian's winner pick. If I had gone first, Teeny also would have been my winner pick. But I am incapable of picking somebody who survives till episode 3, so I didn't get the opportunity. And as we mentioned, Brian and I have at least I have a lot of mutual friends with Teeny.
Right. Yeah.
We're gonna try to get at least one of them on the podcast to talk about Teeny at some point this season. I thought that Teeny was like the fulcrum point of a lot of the strategy on this tribe. Teeny and Genevieve were like the main two who seemed to be driving a lot of things. But we saw pretty early on Genevieve and Rome form a connection. But by the end of the episode, Rome has started isolating himself due to his incessant searching for the idol after finding the Beware advantage, very openly and obviously, to the point where the rest of the tribe is just kind of following him around, watching him do these little subtasks.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously I was very happy with Teeny in this episode. Like you said, seeming to be in a great position. Very funny also that she's like making an alliance and she's like, but I also want Asia to be in it, even though you don't know her, but I know her because I listen to her podcast. Rob has a podcast. So, I wanted to bring this up also. I don't think any of the three of us would get this kind of treatment. Rob, huge juggernaut, but I guess we can dream. That's the goal. One of us gets on Survivor and gets our place saved in an alliance because of the podcast.
I mean, we'll see later. Asia just first time mentioned Rob has a podcast on an episode of Survivor. Straight up says in the confessional, that's the actual dream, right? It's not about like an alliance member. It's about getting the shout out in the confessional to air.
Yeah. I wonder why they didn't show like a flashback or like be like Rob from Survivor does this podcast. I guess now that Jeff Probst has his own podcast, he doesn't want to.
Well, that's what I was thinking of. Why they bringing all these podcast people onto the season? Like, is it because they want, like, are they trying to incept people into being like, man, podcasts are a huge thing because all these people are doing them, and oh my god, Jeff Probst is doing one, and it's with Charlie. Oh, maybe you should check that out. Like, maybe that's like the goal here.
I think that's a good point. I also really want to track. Will all of the On Fire with Jeff Probst co-hosts get a spot on season 50? I think probably yes, but we'll see.
I mean, they'll probably at least get a call.
Yeah, so I think I thought good episode for Teeny, good episode for Asia. Honestly, it was a little dicey losing that challenge, but came good. And you know what? Great episode for Soul. So jacked. Didn't realize it, but so jacked. Didn't let him speak one word, but those guns spoke for themselves.
Yeah.
I think the only time he spoke was when he was like, all right, well, somebody should go follow Rome.
Yeah, right.
Are we gonna do something about this? Yeah, Saul was the one of the because Saul was one of the other people I was looking at as a potential winner pick. I was worried about his age. I think reasonably worried, especially given what happens to John. And like John talks about his struggle being the oldest on his tribe and ends up being voted out. Especially because this cast is pretty young. So I was definitely worried about him being on like in his 40s on a tribe with people in like their late 20s, early 30s. So, but it seems like
so for John, but yeah, we'll see with Saul.
Yeah, it seems like he's not in the worst spot in his tribe. Not necessarily because of his own actions, but more because of Rome. So I guess, like, where do you guys stand on, I guess, this Beware advantage, the way they've structured it this season with the Matryoshka dolls, and with the idols, you can put it back in the box and open up the next little Russian nesting doll, and then extend the life of it, and how it's kind of played out. Because we're going to talk about Gabe next.
Yeah, I mean, Rome was entertaining. He became corrupted by the ring. Very, very. He turned into Winnie the Pooh getting stuck in the honey hive hole over there. That was great. It kind of I think there's two ways to play. He said he was going to go back out and look for that advantage that night. There was no doing that at night. He had to do it during the day. And I think he kind of eventually just embraced turning into Gollum out of nowhere and just skulking around that island, not even talking to anybody, just running past them to go get it. I can appreciate playing that in the sense that you're kind of you're living and dying to get that idol at that point. Yeah, I liked it. I thought he was hilarious. I have him in my family pool. I don't necessarily know if it's the best thing for his game, but from an entertainment purpose, it was great.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I got an eSport hat on right now. Big fan of esports. So I wanted Rome to do better than he did. But yeah, Dylan, you're right. Corrupted by the idol. That was so good. The more he looks for it, the more he needs it. So kind of almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy there. I guess we'll see if he can. He didn't get it outright yet, right? I'm not misremembering.
No. He just has the beware advantage. He hasn't gotten the actual
So he got the first key, but he didn't do anything with it yet, I don't think.
Yeah. He got the was the key buried? Is that what was buried? Or was the key? It was The
key was in the well.
Okay, he was in the well.
Yeah.
Yep. And that was the end. And he almost went into the well also.
Yeah, that was I don't know how deep the well is, because that would be scary for me depending on how deep the well is.
Deeper than I thought it would be.
Yeah, because you have to basically flip yourself completely upside down into it. At least he did. I don't know how tall he is.
Not to peek behind the curtain, but isn't it really just one water jug underneath that well cover?
I feel like it's probably one of those big trash cans.
Yeah, industrial barrel kind of things.
Yeah, which let's see how big those are. Now I'm gonna say it's probably this Rubbermaid 10-gallon trash barrel, and that is a height of 17 inches. So yeah, you probably got another maybe even 10 inches for the wood. 20, a couple feet. You got to go down.
Maybe they just replace it after somebody goes into the well to do this. They just refill it.
I would hope so. They at least got to throw some tablets in there to get the pH balance right.
Because there's no way it could have been in the water though. Now that I think about it, unless it was in a Ziploc bag, which
there was also a rock in it. Why was there a rock in the well?
Try to weigh it down. I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, now it's gone, so hopefully it wasn't doing anything useful.
Oh man, but yeah, I so very desperately wanted them to walk up on him head in the well. That would have been amazing, but unfortunately we didn't get that.
Yeah. I mean, it was close. There were. I was wondering if they were going to see the mysterious message on the tree root that he revealed with his invisible ink magic water.
Yeah, the first time it rains, they're gonna be like, "It's in the well." What?
For the most part, I think this tribe is very likable for the most part.
Yeah.
I do like Teeny a lot. I'm not exactly super sold on her being a great winner pick. I think her potentially being the youngest. I mean, she's so personable though that like I and charismatic that I don't know. But I like Teeny, and I think you're right. I think she kind of became like the catalyst of sort of like beginning the foundation of strategic gameplay on that team. I think Asia was too. I think they're both. I think I can see both of them going very, very far. Genevieve, Keyshawn, and Rome, and I guess and Saul too. Like I can see Rome going far, especially based on recent seasons. I don't necessarily know if we can see Rome winning it, but I can see Rome maybe goleming his way to get to Mount Doom, and then it'll all fall apart at that point. But I really do like this tribe a lot. And aside from Rome too, I think it seems like they're all. I think that they're all going to play a decent game. So, yeah, I like them a lot. They're obviously not as chaotic as what is going on with Gata. And when I say Gata, really it was kind of just John and Andy at that point. But yeah, I like Lavo a lot.
Yeah. All right, I guess we could talk about Tuku next. We have
Too Cool.
Too Cool, yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna stick, man. It's next episode. I'm gonna be saying it to myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, too cool for school, and they are pretty cool tribe. I mean, yeah. So it fits the moniker. So the first kind of thing we really see from this tribe is a lot. It's very Gabe heavy. And one of the first things that we see from Gabe is being like, I want to work with the oldest person on the cast because the old people are more. What was his like reasoning? It was like they're more like
they appreciate you, like you
predictable, kind of like.
I got that he meant that like they like appreciate you, like they're loyal. Like I know he appreciates they appreciate him coming to them at first. I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah, I whatever it was, I didn't really agree with the rationale, but I whatever reasoning makes you want to hook up with or not hook up with, but
hey. I mean, Sue, and 39-year-old,
I mean, it would be crazy. Too hot for TV. Never mind too cool. It'd be too hot. Yeah. So he's like, yeah, let's connect with Sue here and lock down this alliance. And Sue ends up being the only person that he tells about the beware advantage that he finds, so that she can be the like bird call lookout person for him when he's trying to solve the many clues to follow. The fire is looking good in the fire. Yeah.
I really like Sue. I just want to say that I really hope that she stays in this game. I think, we talked about it with John. John's 41 and he's the oldest on his tribe. The older players have been entertaining in the new era. They just don't cast very many of them. I don't really understand why. But it's been like more like a Big Brother style age, over here. And I don't get that. I think we gotta have more older people, How old was Richard Hatch when he won the first time? Like he was like 40, right?
He was in his 30s, I think.
Let's see, Richard. Age.
Just subtract 24 from
63. He was 39.
There you go, 39. Okay, so we were both kind of right.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like he didn't seem old, but if he was on this season, he'd seem super old.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But sorry, I derailed it with Sue talk.
Yeah. I mean, I am looking at the ages right now, and I'm like, oof, yeah, I'm older than half the cast, which is like,
oh yeah, no, I've accepted that.
Yeah,
I accepted like what like when BB19 when we went to that casting call, That would have been the perfect time to go on a reality TV show. Now washed, way too
not for BB19 specifically, but
our age for that. Is it 7 years ago? 23, 24, perfect time to make a fool of yourself on an island or in a studio doubling as a house. But now, 31, 30, it's too old. Too washed up. Although I do feel I'm more of like the curmudgeonly 30, not like some of the more youthful 30s, like Gabe. He's 31 and he found an idol. Almost died while doing it, but
my thing says Gabe is 26.
Oh,
accurate though.
I looked at the wrong.
What are you on that trash site like I was, dude? Misinformation.
Let's see. The directs lead me wrong. The direct.com says Gabe is 31, but they could be wrong.
I don't.
I'm ride or die with Survivor Wiki.
The Survivor Wiki will know.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Survivor Wiki
26.
Jeez, the direct. We're calling sites out.
Trash.
I have this Reddit thing open. There you go. That's what I'm using.
I think maybe this is what happens. You fire
this is the one useful thing you'll ever find on Reddit is like a useful breakdown of the contestants.
Yeah, these websites think they can fire all their writers and replace them with AI, but I don't think they can. Clearly, it's not working.
Yeah, there are two 31-year-olds on the Tuku tribe, and those are TK and Kyle.
So the one guy who isn't 31 was the one that they wrote was 31. That's
it happens to the best of us,
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, Gabe. What do we think of Gabe's like very sloppy idol hunt?
This tribe as a whole, I'm pretty lukewarm on, to be honest with you. I mean, I think we probably spent like the least amount of time with them last episode. Yeah, Gabe. I mean, I wonder what the reasoning was to fully put his trust into Sue compared to TK when he had the opportunity to kind of pull TK in. I mean, we'll see that play out. I feel like maybe. I mean, it could be a thing. It could be a bit of ageism where maybe he just assumes Sue will be easier to play in the long run because she's older than TK would be. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, there's no one on this team this tribe that particularly blew me away. I do like TK a bit, but I just feel like we didn't spend a whole lot of time with him. But Gabe dropping the box down the rocks and just like the loudest crashing noise ever. I like
they're like, what the hell was that?
I tried to play out the scenario in the head with what I would do, and I think that my brain is so toxic at this point that I would then throw myself down the rocks to make it look like I fell, and like potentially just like break my arm just to like make it seem like, because obviously, like, as you know, I'm so hell bent on not telling anybody about any of my advantages or idols unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah, you gotta come out there with the sling. I fell, guys.
Yeah, Lever's Water Tyson.
Yeah, you get like a little bit of like maybe sympathy too. Maybe you take the day off in camp because you're all banged up. Yeah, that would be my play. But once again, just the sloppiness brings hilarity with it, and I really enjoyed that. So in that sense, I liked following Gabe along a bit. But from a game standpoint, I will see. I mean, he seems like he's really just all in on Sue. He kind of has to be at this point, at least for the short term. So. See how that plays out.
Did you think that taking the idol after the second box and not going up for the final box, and only having an idol good for 3 tribal councils or 3? Is it 3 tribal? So this is my these 3 rounds. So if his tribe wins 3 in a row, is it just void?
I think it's going to be tribal councils he attends.
Yeah, that's what I took from it also.
Okay. So could be great. Could be long for the game. Could also be done before the merge, depending on how the rules work, I guess.
Yeah.
Or depending on if his tribe starts losing. But at that point, I'm full sending it. I'm putting that right back in the box. I'm dropping it down another cliff, I'm ready. I'm not getting this for only 3.
Almost quite literally Pandora's box has been opened at that point. So I'm kind of, I agree. I'm going all in.
Yeah, I'm more on the fence about it. I could definitely see, especially if you're like exhausted at that point and you're like, I'm 100% going to get found out if I go for another one. And like at that point, you're going to have to burn it anyways. Like, I don't know. I can see both ways, because the other side is like, if you are in a position where you have to use an early idol, you're probably not in a position where you can like make a deep run of the game anyways. And it's just going to save you for one round. And then like, unless your tribe goes on a challenge run or there's a tribe swap or something, you're probably just screwed the next time. Yep. Whereas like an actual idol can be, used for like a mid to late game play to actually accomplish something useful. So yeah, I don't know. I could see both ways. I would not. I don't blame him for stopping at that point, especially after how badly it got up until that point.
Right. All right. So I want to bring this one home with the yellow tribe.
Yeah, the most interesting tribe for sure. At the very least, the tribe with the most interesting player on it. Like I would say the star of the episode for sure.
I agree. Yeah, Annika, she was great. She was good.
How dare you? Like,
I thought she was good.
Look, they targeted her. I mean, that's probably means that she's probably the brains of that female trio. I don't know.
I weirdly came out of this, and maybe once again, maybe it's the opposite to Tuga. Maybe because we spent so much time with them. I came out of this really high on Annika and on Rachel. As really good players. I think Rachel is one that I think could be a very, very good player this season after seeing how she handled everything with Andy, kind of realizing she is putting her game first. But I do think it's an insane thing to wake someone up in the middle of the night. What was that, first night, second night, or whatever it was?
Yeah, but I don't know you.
like
stop.
Yeah, you're on the wrong season, bro. Kenzie was last season getting woken up. Also, just the clip of him, and I know it was sped up, of him like rocking back and forth in the bed, and it was sped up, looking like he was just like he was turning into like a Psycho Mantis from Metal Gear. It was wild. I am all in on. Once again, mental health is not necessarily is not a joke by any means, but I think when you go on TV and have this go on, it's kind of like something I see people complaining about a lot on Reddit too, like, oh, they're exposing another potentially mentally ill person. I don't know if it's that deep, or somebody that's just kind of panicking or maybe playing a certain character up on the show. Who knows? I mean, an AI research assistant. I mean, somebody that works with computers a lot. Maybe he doesn't get a lot of sunlight. I don't know. I felt really bad for Andy in the opening what would you call it, Ben? The Matt talk.
Yeah, the Matt chat.
Matt chat. I felt really bad for him, and it kind of actually. So I was actually pretty down on John from the jump, and I used to listen to Pod Save America. When Andy said that, basically he was building up like he had no friends in high school. He had a very low amount of friends, and he was like, I only had 4 friends, and then John kind of like ruined his story of being like, oh well, 4, good for you. Like I had no friends. I thought John, most of the episode came off like pretty smugly, at least to me. Kind of like the whole like, hey, I have this big podcast, you guys listening to it, and like clearly nobody listened to it. Like I thought that was all great too, and we've also been there as podcasters.
Count it for the Survivor casting department to be like, we cannot have anybody know who is. That's gonna be so funny.
Mm-hmm. And like have a podcast, where we get like tens of people listening each week. I understand that struggle. Having somebody that has probably one of the biggest podcasts in the country kind of go through that was great to watch. But I mean,
I feel like it's easier for us. I just assume no one has ever listened to our podcast. If someone were to be like, hey, are you a podcaster to me? I think I would have a similar panic attack to what Andy had. Challenge.
I think it's different. I think like your ego would obviously be less inflated than somebody that has a podcast that's big would be to hear like, I don't know what that is.
That's fair.
It's one thing for me when I'm like, hey grandma, did you listen to my Survivor podcast this weekend? And she says no. It's different than you asking a bunch of people on that island if they had heard. It seems like Andy potentially heard of it. I don't know. I think Andy maybe have been playing up to a little bit to get some chat time in with people. One of my favorite Twitter comments of the night, of course, that I sent to you guys was when Andy said he was bi. He actually meant that he was bipolar. I thought that was just hilarious. Yeah, this tribe was chaotic in all the right ways. I am very, very happy. The person that was kept and the person that was sent home was the one that was sent home, because I think in the long run, I think it's kind of better for an entertainment purpose. I think it definitely kind of stinks because I think that we were losing potentially a good player or somebody that I would have liked to see him play. But I think everybody else in this tribe is like I said, Rachel, Annika, Andy's going to be like kind of that creative, chaotic one. Sam, like, I don't know, Sam's, I guess, filling in like that, like the meathead role of this season potentially.
But the women seem to like him a lot. So like,
yeah,
I think he's going to be well positioned in this tribe.
I think he might be he might be maybe somebody that falls under the spell because he's a young guy with quite a bit of attractive women on his tribe too. I think maybe like somebody was like, yeah, you have a 41-year-old guy who you've like barely conversed with asking you to save him and flip on another woman. And he immediately went and told the girls, that's something I could see myself doing.
So it's like glue guy
as well. Yeah.
I think Annika came out strongest on this tribe. Now that she survived, someone trying to flip the vote on her, I think she's going to be well positioned to go far, at least the pre-merge. We'll see what happens.
I saw so many people upset too that John was one sent home, saying like, "How do you not send Andy home?" Like if you're looking at it purely from a gameplay standpoint, they clearly see that Andy is like a puppet at this point, unless he somehow finds an idol. That he's a puppet at this point, and that they're getting rid of somebody that for literally no reason John threw out Annika's name. I don't know what happened there, because John was pretty cool and collect up until that point. I don't know what happened, but I thought the vote out made perfect sense.
Yeah, I think it probably just goes to show, like, again, with these small tribes, like, you can't vote Andy out first because he's athletic. Like, like it just comes down to like, look, John, nice guy, very, very thin, like doesn't look like he's that strong. Andy, not handling things well, but pretty muscular. So like, you keep him, and then if you don't win again with him, okay, then you cut him. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same kind of logic as keeping Bonu last season over like Jess, right? It's the same kind of vibe.
I don't think John goes first on a 2-tribe season. I think he's like fun enough to where you can rationalize cutting someone else over him when you have 8 or 9 other players on your tribe, right?
Let's talk about this then, because I actually disagree. I think John, I think you guys are, giving John more credit than I would. I think John played really poorly this episode.
Okay,
like kind of across the board.
All right. What podcast network does John run? I think we can safely assume we won't be signed to them. But yes, please.
Yeah. We're not going to be on Crooked Media, I guess.
Crooked, that's what it is. Yeah.
Although John, great person to bring back for my left versus right series. He's perfect. Right. That season too. Also, like that, you want to talk about bringing back a bunch of older people for the conservative side. That could be the play there. I think it's all coming together.
They wimped out because I know Jeff wants to do that as a season, but they're like, well, you can have John from Pod Saves America. That's it. Mm-hmm. We're not doing this, Jeff.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess I would be curious for them to have done that. And like, if you're like John Lovett and you get in the season, you're like, all right, it's liberals versus conservatives, all right. and John's like, God damn it, I just want to come play Survivor. And I was getting away from politics.
Oh man, but okay, so Torch's game. Let's hear it. I want to.
Okay, I don't think he was horrible. I think that you guys, I think you're taking away some of the agency for his from him being definitely responsible for him getting voted out. I thought there was no rationality for what he did trying to run back to Andy. It made zero sense at all, especially when he's very clearly not put in the social work to form bonds outside of Andy up until that immunity challenge and the fallout afterwards. It seemed very clear that he had no connection with any of the girls, and that he didn't really have any foundation with Sam either. So he was just trying to make it was big move-itis in a situation where he didn't have any social capital to even start thinking about making a big move. And I understand in his confessional, he's like, look, if I'm going to play one episode of Survivor or one round of Survivor, I'm going to make it count. And it's like, I mean, I guess that's one way to approach the game, but that's not a great way to approach the game if you care about winning. It's a very short-sighted way to see the game. If we want to talk about him being the oldest guy in the tribe, he kind of played in the way that a teenager approaches life, honestly. He played very YOLO.
Yeah, and this strategy works if Andy had someone very aligned with him, and if John had someone very aligned with him, because then it's we just make 4 and we'll take out. But when you're the 2 and you're just 2, you can't do much with that.
Yeah.
You're still at the whim of the other 4. And the second Sam was like, I'm good. Actually, I don't want to do this. Get in the water.
Yeah. And I think that also approaching Sam as a duo, I understand from
Right.
a logical perspective, you're like, oh, you need to show Sam that you have numbers. But no, because now John is tied to the move, and exactly what happened is exactly what everyone expected to happen as soon as it started happening, which is you're not really providing a path forward for Sam other than rat out John to the girls. There's no other path for him. You've backed him into a corner. So, and you didn't even make Andy do it for you. You did it yourself, because I guess he wants to have credit for the move. I don't know what the logic was. None of it all felt it felt like feelings gameplay from John for me.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely panicked and played too hard, which we see all the time, too early too. So
yeah,
I think if you put the notoriety aside, it really is just another person that just panicked and played too hard too early, and then they're gone when they didn't. They probably could have lasted at least another vote.
Yeah. The big issue with he didn't tell Sam Pokemon go to the voting booth.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
He can Pokemon go home.
So Asia wins the title of Best Podcaster Survivor Player this season.
Yep.
Shout out to her. Very
only podcaster of the season to get recognized as well.
And that is so funny. Also,
tertiary Survivor podcaster.
Not even one of the main Survivor podcasters on that channel, but
probably a big one for us too. Political podcaster, boring, dumb. Survivor podcast, that's the market to get into.
Agreed. I've been been podcasting about Survivor a very long time. Not even my first Survivor podcast, the Blindsiders. So to see a tertiary Survivor podcaster finally get recognized, huge night.
Yeah.
Oh man. So that's about all I have. I know we're trying to end, so Dylan can watch the past. Do you guys have anything else?
No, the immunity challenge was fun to watch. The ship sinking, that was great. Just immediate fast cut to the puzzle being completed, that was awesome. Obviously, the insanity with Andy and being passing out while there's a puzzle going on is just perfect. It was hilarious. I think because it was such an uncompetitive challenge, the challenge itself is kind of just whatever. But obviously the everything else was perfect. It's a lot of people I talked to agreed that I was pretty much from the last like hour and a half on, I was like completely glued to the episode. I think it was a great episode. You know, we're just back to that messy, fun gameplay. These people that, like I said, the meta gameplay, I hate it. Like the people that are like the super fan. I hope the super fan is dead. You know, I know we have Asia there who literally has a huge, massive Survivor podcast there. So that's like, maybe they're not dead, but the people that are out proudly, you know, displaying it, that they're the super fans. I'm all in for this new era of messy, sloppy fans. I'll take that.
Yeah. And I'll say, like, if I have any advice from observing people the last few years, if you're someone who's gonna go on Survivor and you haven't really done very much in your life, maybe do some like things that get your adrenaline pumping first, so that you don't have like the biggest adrenaline spike of your life in the middle of a Survivor challenge. And maybe it's just too much. Like maybe that is the ultimate adrenaline rush, but like do some stuff, climb some mountains, you know, ride like a motorcycle, do something to get the heart rate going, so you're not having Jeff Probst, you know, bend over you like.
Do you think he was actually experiencing anything though? Do you think he was kind of just?
He was just having like a little panic attack.
I think it was a panic attack as well.
Little adrenaline overdose, like,
because
you know.
At first, and maybe I'm giving Andy too much credit. At first, I thought he was maybe just going to try to go for the sympathy card.
Everybody. That was the play. That was really bad. That was not well executed. So I don't think it was that.
Yeah, maybe he just tried to get medevac to save the embarrassment of being the first voted off. Because he's like, oh man, I was gonna get voted off first, and Jeff's like, you still can. I can still be the reality of this, Andy. We're not pulling you, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
oh man, he's doing all right wherever he is.
Maybe he wins. Maybe he's doing great.
Yeah.
I am curious to see, because I know Andy is like a big RHAP patron. Like he does a lot of call-ins for their shows. And like he's like kind of deep into that community. So I assume he knows who Asia is. Yeah. So I would be interested to see if we get another situation, if there's a tribe swap. If he survives until a tribe swap, we get a second like Izzy and Suri moment of like Andy being like, oh my god, Asia.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I do have to say, I went to our my dog wants to say something. He said he has to go out, so we'll try to wrap this up. I do have to say, I went to our Spotify podcast feed. This is episode 77, so this is the longest running.
What to say? 50 seemed short.
I don't know what I must have been missing one of the season playlists when I was counting them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because it's been 6 seasons and there's been like 12 or 13 episodes a season, so like that's 70 something sounds right.
Yeah. I was panicking. I was like I said, I was like Andy in that challenge. But other than that, please subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Wicked Good at Everything, subscribe to Those Fake Nerds, which is a channel now. It used to be a show on Wicked Good Everything. Well, it was a podcast at first, then a show, now its own channel and its own TikTok page. So go follow there, follow the Wicked Good Sports channel and podcast. Just doing a lot of stuff. You guys, you have the floor now.
You've been getting a little bit more of engagement on those TikTok videos too, which has been nice to see.
Yeah, it's good. Just try to stay consistent, see what happens with that, and we'll see what happens.
I occasionally see a mean comment, and I kind of get ready to jump in there, but I feel like maybe it's not.
Listen, almost all the comments I get are mean on this stuff, so it's okay. I'm well used to it. If it's not, people will either be like talking about what I'm talking about, or they'll just be like, "Hey man, did you know you're fat?" I was aware. Thank you. I am actually in this body all the time, so I know.
All right. Well, I'll start leaving those mean comments then. If that's
I appreciate it. I appreciate the willingness to want to jump into.
Yeah.
And
I personally don't really have anything to promote. Go listen to everything and watch everything that Brian just promoted. I don't really have much going on right now. My streaming thing never really worked out. I'm now back in school, got a job, kids and family, man. Everyone's taking up all my time. So I'm just happy to be doing this again. I definitely, I've always said I want to be doing more videos. If I do it, it'll be together. So we got Last of Us coming up in the spring, I think, right? Is it unconfirmed? I think the official release date, but we'd like to jump in.
Worth fighting for some of that podcast. Hell yeah.
I'd like to jump on some of that. So but yeah, just support us here. You can follow me on Twitter at DJ Cleverling, or don't. Who cares? I tweet not the football season's back, I just yell about the Patriots, but I don't really tweet about anything else.
Yep. You can follow me on Twitter, I guess. I think I put out a tweet about the episode. I've been tweeting about Big Brother a little bit.
You're very down on Leah's HOH this week.
The episode's happening. The eviction episode's happening right now, so I'm gonna have to watch. I have a recording on a DVR, so I'll watch it after we end here. But if T-Core goes out, it's salvageable, I guess. But yeah, not too high on it. It seems like Mackenzie's gonna potentially win, which would be pretty fucking funny after Matt was the first boot. So yeah, I don't know. I love the Big Brother season. This week was kind of definitely the worst week so far, but it's a high bar that it has to cross to be the worst week. So yeah.
Excited for that. In the backyard, that always hits the brakes a little bit. Well, when they did the split house, it hit the brakes. So putting all of them in the backyard, even worse.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for listening. Oh, also Pack of Ice and Fire, also another new podcast. Please check that out. It's a Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon. I guess Game of Thrones too. All the Song of Ice and Fire properties gonna go there. But yeah, thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.